Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Becca with House of Lenormand. Today is Wednesday, November 13th, and it is impeachment hearing. I think I just did the video for the meeting that DJT had with the person symbolized by the moon. I just uploaded that. And I wanted to kind of take a moment on this video to check in with the GOP. This 3-line spread here was to see if the turtle had watched the impeachment hearings. And we have the House, which is neutral, the book, which is neutral, and the fish, which is positive. So it's saying yes. He may have watched it in private. Perhaps there's a safe space, like a certain area that's closed off, that's secret, where you wouldn't normally go. So not like on the floor, or maybe his office or something, like a private room. This is private, where he was watching it. He may have been drinking something, maybe water, maybe some whiskey, who knows. But it's saying yes, he did watch it. So I'm going to see if we can do a box spread on him to see how he's feeling about it, okay? I'll be back. Okay, everyone, so this box spread here was to see what the turtle's thinking and feeling about the public impeachment hearings today. So down this row, we have the garden, the mice, and the fox. Down this row, we have the ship, the man, which is him, and the clouds. And then down this row, we're seeing the whip, the bear, and the moon. We can see up here, which is directly above him, this could be read as what he's thinking about. And this is in regards to a country that is foreign, that is having to fight. This could be about the entire scandal right now with the whip that's going on in the Ukraine in regards to the conflict that's going on overseas right now. This could also be in regards to a foreign country that is perhaps in the middle of a war. Something to do here with the moon, a country that's represented by the moon, as well as the hearings that are going public and everybody's going to recognize what he did. This could also be in regards to quite possibly Syria as well. Here we're seeing that he is quite nervous, anxious, stressed out. Perhaps this is my poop in his pants card. He may be pooping his pants about this guy. This right here could be DJT. It could also be a foreign power that has been working in the shadows and is causing a lot of anxiety and worry. There's no money cards here other than the bear, which would be someone that's financing, a financier, a protector. So this could also quite possibly be that he is very, very worried, not only about DJT, but quite possibly also Barr, and how he may be tangled up in this whole thing, and perhaps he's nervous about what else is going to be exposed. Here we're seeing something that was sneaky, suspicious, covert, that was being done in the shadows. It was covered over, and then it comes to light here. It becomes public, and it is recognized, especially down this row here. Something that goes public that becomes recognized. Whatever they were hiding and shading over, doing in the shadows, as far as an investigation, it gets exposed here. This way, we're seeing abuse of power by the president here that's being exposed. Abuse of power could quite also possibly be other people that can be represented by the bear that becomes exposed. So this could be DJT, this could be Russia, this could be Pompeo, this could be Barr, that gets recognized this way. We can see here that the party is under a lot of stress, and they're trying to figure out a way to weasel around it and get out of it down this column. You can see here that he's thinking about something that's going on overseas that's causing him a lot of confusion. It's creating chaos. The whip knights over here to the clouds. So this is really, really, really bad. It's chaos that just keeps repeating over and over and over again. It doesn't stop. There's no solution to this. And then here, like I said earlier, the abuse of power from this person or persons that get exposed. And the reason I say persons is because these two right here, the mice and the bear, it's a team of people that are working together. So like I said, the DJTs, the Pompeos, the Bars, quite also possibly Russia. We're seeing here chronic corruption with the whip knighting over to the mice. That's chronic corruption. And chronic criminality, chronic thievery. And we're seeing, you know, like I said, he's quite nervous and they're trying to figure out a way that around it. And he's also with the mice knighting over here to the moon. He's also quite nervous and really, really worried about the chaos that could potentially be exposed and what else may be coming out that he doesn't know about, that he's in the dark about, that he doesn't know. Excuse me. Let me see. There's something going on overseas that's quite suspicious, and something going on overseas that may not yet be known down this line, but eventually gets exposed. This might have something to do with Syria and Erdogan here, because we have the moon, someone in a position of authority represented by the moon. So quite possibly something to do with Erdogan and Syria, because we're seeing foreign conflict up here. So the Ukraine, Syria, other places that are under a lot of duress and stress and are perhaps involved in some sort of an aggression or a conflict. And this is abusing and fraud. So this could be abusing investigators, career investigators here. This could be that he is receiving abuse and he's trying to find a way out of it down this diagonal here. With the corners, we're seeing that there is an organization or a community that is involved in aggression, and something that is brought to light here that has been quite suspicious and sneaky. So again, this could be Erdogan. We're not seeing the writer here, so I can't say Erdogan is here to visit. But it could be someone in a position of authority that is represented by the moon that's doing something really, really, really sneaky and suspicious in the shadows that may get exposed. I'm not sure if he has knowledge of it. It looks like he's in the dark because he's got the clouds right beneath him. And he's worried about what else is going to come out about the guy that he's trying to protect and defend, as well as those around him that are represented by the bear. So the Pompeos and Bar. Down this way, it looks like he may think that he has some sort of positive solution to this. But it's kind of like it's eating away at his reputation. It's eating it away. It's deteriorating it. It could be a reputation of corruption, recognition of corruption, abuse, and criminality. But it looks like he's thinking about what's going on overseas, the foreign policy that was done in the shadows, shadow foreign policy there, the chronic criminality, the chronic abuse, the criminality of this guy, and how he's going to get out of it, how he's going to try to weasel out of it. I'm not sure if this could also be in regards to perhaps the Senate and him and what being successful in the Senate there, being successful in the party there. But it looks like he is really, really, really worried about these people here that are working with this person, DJT, and what he's been kept in the dark about and what else is going to come out. I'm going to try to think of something else to ask, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this reading here was to see how the GOP Senate is feeling about the public impeachment hearings today. Down this row, we're seeing the whip, the ring, the house, the heart, the man, which I'm assuming is what's his name? DJT, and then the coffin. And then down this row, we're seeing the bouquet, the book, and the mountain. They're feeling, there's some hate here. there's a lot of anger going on here. But then there's kind of like, it clears up here with the bouquet. We can see here that this person, it's like they've made an agreement with DJT and not speak. I don't know if this is DJT or if it's the leader. But they've made an agreement to not speak. At least not publicly. Okay? And then here we're seeing, it's like there's a unified message here to stay quiet because of the ring. And then we're seeing here that something in the house or the family comes to an end, and then there's a serious obstacle, a block. Down here we can see that there is a fight going on that's going to remain in the house. There's a commitment here in the house. There's no love for this man. There's no love for either, if this is presenting as DJT or the turtle, but there's no love there. And there's an offer coming in private, and then a delay or an obstruction. We can see here that they're not happy with the corners. They're not happy about the obstacle or the delay. And then the house is over here standing by itself. So there's like some sort of repetitive obstacle that keeps happening over and over again. And the house is quite happy. This could be people are happy with the house. People are happy with what the house is doing. I'm not seeing the crossroads, so I can't talk about they're waiting to see what the polls say. If I had the crossroads here, I could kind of sort of figure it out. But we're not seeing that here in the spread. It looks like whoever this person is recognizes that the house is in good favor. Like they have the upper hand. There's some sort of an agreement here, a happy agreement, or some sort of promise that was made in private to obstruct or delay here. So I'm not sure if their plan is to just shut up and then acquit him this way, or perhaps give him an offer in private. But I'm not seeing any action cards here other than that one that talks about a separation. But they're not looking too happy. They're looking, if this is how they're feeling, there's no love. They are depressed. They are very sad. They are quite sorrowful. There's an obstacle here that is absolutely immovable. Sorry, it's repetitive obstruction. It's a chronic problem here. It's kind of like they're backed up into a corner. They're quite depressed about it, angry, and they're just keeping their mouths shut. They're not talking. If that would have been down here, it would have been, the reading would have turned out differently, because that would have, recommended that or suggested that it would alleviate, but it's not. It's closed off here and it's blocked here. So it's kind of like they feel like they're trapped between a rock and a hard place and they can't get out this way, down this diagonal, because this is the last card that kind of puts the punctuation mark on the entire reading, and it's blocked. See what I'm saying? So if this would have been here, it would be more like, yeah, well, it's a problem. We can get around it. Well, you're not gonna climb this mountain in a day. This is a huge obstacle, a huge delay, a huge problem, and it's also a very powerful enemy. So they're just backed up into a corner here, and they're depressed. They're perhaps quite remorseful. The bouquet knights over here to the coffin. This is happiness and joy. Well, there is no happiness and joy. There's depression. This is love. And then this is something that's closed off. So there is no love. They're depressed. They're depressed and just blocked off, and they're just backed up into a corner, and they don't know how to get out of it. So they're keeping their mouths shut. And like I said, there may be some sort of a project that they're working on behind closed doors to perhaps offer something here. But like I said, I'm not seeing any action cards like the crossroads to say that they're going to offer him to leave. But it's still quite early, and we're only on the first day. And based on the previous reading that we just did on McConnell, he's crapping his pants to see if there's anything else that comes up involving people that are associated to the bear, whether that's DJT, Pompeo, Barr, something else that might become public. Down that column that we had, the diagonal with the garden, the man and the moons, what else is going to come out that he's in the dark about? This man here is in the dark. He's depressed. He's blocked off. He's facing a serious obstacle. He's kind of like I said, he's backed up into a corner. There's a lot of fighting in private, with the whip knighting over to the book. That's fighting in private. Fighting that is closed off here. Fighting in private that is closed off. They may try to find a solution to stop the fighting. Stop fighting here. But it looks like it's just ongoing. They're doing it in private. This is going to be an ongoing problem. This with the ring knighting to the mountain. This is ongoing, as well as the whip down this diagonal. This is an ongoing problem. Let me see here. The house has a secret, or this could be that the family has a secret. This could also be something about the briberies that have come in from the family, and then property foreclosures here. This could be also talking about members. The tight entourage in the Senate is they're just looking at the end. They are looking at the end and the huge problem ahead. It's kind of like they just want to stick their heads in the sand and not deal with it here. I want to see. I mean, today's only the first day. I want to see what's going to be the outcome, or what strategy they have. As you can see here, there's happiness and joy in the house. The house has support. They do not. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this right here was to see what kind of outcome we were going to get from the hearings we just started in the House. So we have the crossroads, the tower, the anchor, the dog, the rider, the mountain, and the bouquet on the top row. And then on the second row here, we're seeing the ship, the letter, the heart, the moon, the book, the bear, and the cross. So we can see here that there's going to be a choice. There's someone that had a long-standing position in the government as some sort of advisor, perhaps something to do with security, that is expected to visit, but there's a delay, and then it clears up here. Because he's got this right before him, I'm wondering if this is John Bolton that's expected, or they're trying to get in to get him in to speak, but he's facing an obstacle of some sort. But then it clears up here. I can't tell you when he shows up. If this is John Bolton, he shows up. We're also seeing here that there's multiple people in the government that perhaps have received notice, official notice to show up, but they're delayed, they're blocking. This person here is blocked. This person here is guilty. So if this is in regards to people that fit the description of the bear, like your Pompeos and your Barr, they're blocked there and they're burdened here. So if these are witnesses, they're trying to keep them from speaking. Here we're seeing foreign policy and help for some sort of aid here. And then there's a secret. They were keeping something secret here, and that secret has been long-standing, and it has something to do with an institution that's recognized by the moon. So this could quite possibly be what do you call this? The Turkey people, okay? An institution represented by the moon. One of these people, if this is John Bolton, he may have knowledge about something that happened with Turkey, perhaps some sort of policy, something perhaps to do quite literally with a tower that someone is recognized on. Somebody that could possibly be a person in a position of authority. So I don't know if this is in regards to him having knowledge about policy that was written for Turkey to favor them because of this person's personal interest. But right now it's secret. And here is the person in a position of authority that is guilty, burdened, in a lot of trouble. This guy here, if this is John Bolton, because this would be an advisor, and he's got that right before him. I'm assuming this is John Bolton. Like I said, he's like, his visit is delayed. That is not a permanent obstacle. If the anchor would have been behind it, that's a huge obstacle. He's running into an obstacle here, some sort of a problem, some sort of a delay, but then it clears up. I don't know if this is him saying that he finally arrives or finally gets to his destination on the 21st of this month, because the mountain is the winter, okay? So I don't know when the first day of, this would be like the first day of winter here. So I'm not sure if this is saying on the first day where we officially change seasons and it's the winter. So like on the 21st of November, perhaps, is when he's able to clear this mess. I'm not sure. That's just one way of interpreting this. There's Turkey. There's a long-standing secret here. The advisor to the bear, and then the person, when he brings the news, it's bad. It's bad. It's not good. It kind of puts the nail in the coffin here. It's kind of like he nails him to the cross. This person is going to the cross. Several, here with the corners, we're seeing several, a journey or a choice that is super painful. And we're seeing foreign gifts, foreign bribes, perhaps foreign aid, and the aid that was delayed here, if we're reading it this way. And then that it finally cleared up. So we're seeing here that there's choices that have to do with someone that's far away or something that is foreign. This could be something to do around the elections that Mango Mussolini over here was trying to get aid from here, blocking aid in order to get help for the elections, okay? This is securing something like gratitude. So, and this is a long-term ally here, okay? And then we have somebody that's visiting in secret here. And then we can see here that someone is not happy at all. And this was to ask about the outcome of the hearings that we just started watching today. the crap's going to hit the fan. It's quite somber, quite painful. This is not a happy moment. This is not a happy moment. I'm wondering who this visitor is. Because it looks like it could be, this line here looks like it could be Bolton. But then it's like he's doing something in secret, or he's delivering messages in secret. There's a delay, but then it clears up there. So like I said earlier, I'm not sure if this is talking about the 21st of this month when we officially get into the winter, and then it clears up. So let me see if I can see what's going to happen when it hits the Senate. So this double line of 7 was to see when this impeachment hits the Senate, what's going to be the outcome. And we have the clovers, the birds, the mice, the letter, the writer, the whip, and the garden. And then down here, we have the coffin, the book, the storks, the sun, the fox, the bear, and the woman. We're going to see here that there's perhaps a conversation, a phone call that took place that had to do with criminality, that there's a record of it, and it gets delivered, and it causes a lot of fighting within the party or within the country or a community. This document here appears to be new. There's a new document that gets revealed here. There was something inside of a super secret dark black box. This could be that server, because this is a super closed off box that's secret, that holds stuff out of the public eye. This is something that's kept away from the public. Okay, whatever's in there is transferred, gets released, and it exposes criminality and fraud by someone in a position of authority. And then there's a woman here. I don't know who this is. I don't know if, I mean, this is the Senate, so I don't know if this could be Nancy Pelosi, unless it's Nancy Pelosi is able to do something in the background to where they get into this thing and expose it all. Because she mirrors over there to the clover. So she is the one that has the luck. She's got an ace up her sleeve, this woman here. And there's a document here that's going to shed a lot of light on this person, with the letter knighting over here to the bear. And she's she's delivering that. She's the one that's delivering it, and it shows abuse of power here. And it has something to do with that phone call that was kept secret. There's news of fraud, news of an investigation, news of perhaps some sort of a spy, because there's criminality and thievery here. That phone call is going to cause a lot of stress once it gets revealed. Once that phone call gets revealed, the poop is going to hit the fan right there. And it looks like it's that phone call that's in that black box that's highly classified here. There's an opportunity for change, but it's a good opportunity. There's a phone call that gets exposed. Criminality, fraud, corruption, and manipulation. Perhaps this right here could be blackmail. Mail to manipulate here. Mail that is fraudulent. So this could be some sort of blackmail that's also in that server that we don't know about. It could also be blackmail to abuse that person in a position of authority because of something or someone that's in a cemetery here, with the garden knighting over here or mirroring over here to the coffin. This could be a cemetery. This could also be something that's been kept away from the public, buried from the public. But it's like there's something in that black box that's classified that has to do perhaps quite literally with someone that passed, because it looks like blackmail here. Phone call gets exposed, criminality and corruption and blackmail. There's perhaps a transcript or a report of a phone call here A secret phone call and a transcript gets revealed here, and it's abuse, and it shows his abuse. There's corruption and criminality here that comes to light, that becomes exposed, that changes everything. There's something here that when it gets exposed, it changes the whole game. It changes the whole game. And it makes me think of the original grand tableau that I had done for Donald Trump. I posted it in May. It went from May 2019 through December 2019. It was woman, garden, coffin in the very last row for December. And this right here is just kind of reminding me of it. Because it's kind of like there's something in that server that it's new. We haven't heard about it. A verbal transcript, a transcript of a phone call, but it was being used to blackmail and abuse this guy. And it quite possibly could have had something to do with a literal death here. But it was something that was being kept away from the public. But this woman has the ace up her sleeve here. But once that comes out, it changes everything. It changes everything. Yeah, it exposes the fraud and the criminality that he's been involved with. How he has been being abused, how he has been being blackmailed. There could also be some sort of a report there from investigators, something that was delivered, a new report, a new document, whether it's a transcript, a verbal transcript, and it's being delivered to investigators. There's also some sort of message coming in about fraud, perhaps a message coming in about spies here with the fox. And it's really going to piss off the public. It's really going to stir up a lot of anger in the public. I'm going to err on the side of caution of saying civil unrest here. Because this is a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, and then this is an organization, a group, a community. Okay, so I'm just going to err on the side of caution when I say that I don't want to freak anybody out, and nor do I want to give that sort of stuff any energy. But just to kind of wrap this up, this reading here, there's something in that black box that's highly classified, that's being kept away from the public, that has a conversation in there that's new, that comes to light. That sheds a lot of light on a lot of stuff that this guy has been doing, and it looks like it's revolving around blackmail, criminality, corruption, a lot of fraud here. So we'll see, but she's the lucky one here. Let me see if I can think of anything else, and I'll be right back. So this one was to see what sort of super important documents coming out that we haven't heard about just yet. We have the stars, the letter, the clover, the snake, and the key. Underneath that, we have the clouds, the book, the cross, the house, and the woman. We're seeing here that there is the document that I was asking about showed up here. This could be an email. This could be an internet forum where you go to write stuff. Okay, emails or internet forums that expose a person here that is a snake. That person has been undercover. They've been hiding their identity on forums here or on emails. But it's looking like it's more like internet forums. Okay. And they've been hiding their identity, but they get exposed. This person is a lot of trouble. They cause a lot of chaos, hurt, pain, confusion. They burden and hurt families. This person gets exposed by a woman here. And I was looking at this, and simply because the key lands over, or I'm sorry, the snake, which is the Queen of Clubs, lands over the house, which is the King of Hearts, and the keys right behind. I was like, this is someone whose name is an S, has an S in it. I remember I had done a reading months and months and months and months ago on the Steves. The name of the video is the Steves. And it had showed that the Miller, excuse me, was going online, like visiting forums or whatever, and writing all these posts, like hate posts, but doing it under a different identity or under a different username or whatever, to kind of like cover up who he really is. Well, if this is not in regards to an email, and we just saw the emails that was reported yesterday from Miller, that he was writing Breitbart, that could be this. It's something on the internet that is written. So this could be an email. This could be this could be an internet forum. But he's doing it in secret here. See what I'm saying? The clouds, you can't see it when it's, you can't see the stars when it's covered up by the clouds. So I don't know if this is like the dark web, or he's going online covering stuff up and writing stuff in secret that's causing a lot of pain and burden to families. But he gets exposed by a woman. And that may be something new that comes up that shows his ties to these type of people that are in the administration. So I wanted to get a clarifier on that. And I asked if that was Miller, and we got the Anchor, which is positive, the Storks, which is positive, and the Moon, which is positive. That's yes, yes, yes. It's something to do with immigration. Something that he may have written about immigration that's going to cause a problem. Because we have the storks right in the middle. This is about leaving and returning. Storks are migratory birds. They come in the spring, they leave in the winter. So there may be some sort of new document that comes up around Miller. Because this is a person that they're dangerous, and they're doing something online here, either on a forum, emails, but he's doing it in private and covering it up. And then he gets exposed here. There may be something on the media or something on the internet that becomes quite burdensome. There's policy for families that come in. And this woman here has an opportunity, or she gets lucky in regards to that document that exposes this person. And like I said, I wouldn't normally read that as a man, because she's the Queen of Clubs, but because she lands over this, and this is a king, I'm thinking it's a person symbolized with the letter S. That's a man. Okay. So that's a possibility. But she's gonna expose something really bad about that guy, because he's covering it up back here, and then here he gets exposed. So that might be something new, that a new document or something tied to those documents, or some sort of verbal transcript that comes out of those servers, or that black box that's highly classified that they're shoving all the guilt in. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up here. And I think I'm going to read on Sondland, because his name keeps popping up, and that guy's in a world of trouble. So thank you so much for being with me here, you guys, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.